And so the Amorim CV looks strong. Two-time Portuguese league winner, 3 times Portuguese League Cup winner. He's been manager of the season in Portugal on 2 occasions. In terms of what United are getting, if this all goes through and he does arrive at Old Trafford, listen, some in Portugal are calling him the best coach they've seen in that country since the days of Jose Mourinho. Do you feel he is the right fit for United? Do you feel he's as good as the fuss around him would suggest?
I think if that appointment happens, the players will embrace that like you can't believe. I think they're going to be over the moon with someone that plays forward thinking, on the front foot, attacking football, dynamic, intensity, aggressive in their possession, aggressive when they haven't got the ball. And I think we're going to see a massive improvement from these players, which is wrong in terms of you should not have to be motivated to play for any football club, let alone Manchester United. That didn't happen under Ten Hag. Now I think with this man coming in, he's just going to give them that lift. I think even in the interim period under Van Nistelrooy, I think you're going to see players, a bit of a cloud just shift over the training ground, over the stadium now, and there's going to be a big shift with Manchester United now.
Like we said, it's really important to let the people know out there that you just can't discard players and bring a new lot in with the restraints now.
No, you can't.
Get the man in now, let him have a look at them in training, because that's where you see a lot, we know ourselves. It's all right, watch him on the pitch, watch him every day in training, get to know him, have the conversations, decide which ones you want to take with you and the ones you want out. Let Jason Wilcox and Dan Ashworth know about that, let them do their work, and then when the January transfer window opens, then maybe you want 1 or 2. Because at the moment, looking from the outside, you would say, if I was him, I'd say, well, there's like 10 needs to leave here. But it ain't going to be the case. He'll work with some of these. Some of these will shock us. And they'll be unrecognisable from the Ten Hag days. You'll say, where did he turn up from? Where did we know that? Because this man might go, you know what? I use him in this position. I want to play with wing-backs. This one can play there. He will know. The little detail what he will learn in training about these guys. Ugarte, who has hardly kicked a ball for Ten Hag, we know he knows him. His best football he's had when he's been at Sporting. Now he needs to then decide, what do I need in January? Does he bring in Marcus Edwards with him, a little superstar he went from Tottenham to Sporting? Do we bring Corcoran, who's absolutely on fire at the moment? I would suggest 100% that boy comes in, because they're starved of centre forwards. They've got Hoyland and they've got Xerxes, who's not a centre forward.
But they've got to
anyway.
get players out.
But they've got to get players in. Get them out before you can bring them in.
They want 80, 90 million, and that's the problem now. When he's gone there and done well. So it's now you're going, right, we've got a new manager, we're going to back them fully like that, but they've already spent. You saw the money they've already spent.
It's a fair amount.
Yeah.
And Joby, when he'll have seen United play plenty of times, there is a difference, obviously, in what Tim's saying when you see them in the flesh for the first time on the training pitch as well. But when he looks at that United team, I mean, some might say, well, where on earth do you start? But if you're pinpointing one particular area he's going to have to address pretty quickly, would the midfield be one of them?
I don't think it's just one area, Simon, I've got to be honest.
But that area's never really been solved, has it?
No, it hasn't, but, you know, you go back to, again, Manchester United teams that you would expect to be scoring bundles of goals, really good from an attacking point of view. I don't see that when they play anymore. Defensively, it's just mishmash, you know, in terms of where's the partnerships, you know, whether it's 2 centre-halves, whether it's, you know, full-back, and there just seems to be a real lack of direction across the playing style and the philosophy. So for me, it is a complete rebuild. We talk about players coming in. What players he actually improved side that he inherited? Any of them? You know, Rashford, look what's happened to him, you know, during his time there. So there's so many different aspects that he's going to need to go in. I do agree from a playing point of view, there'll be a cloud that has been lifted. I think there'll be a real intensity to the work, because they know as soon as he comes in, they've got to be at it. I've never felt Ten Hag has felt comfortable at Manchester United. I just don't feel that he's ever felt, I'm the man to take this on, given the scale of the club. I think with Amorim, he's got that little bit about him, you know, and I think that means a lot to players and to fans, just that bit of charisma, you know, that I feel he can come in there and really get things going.
He's fresh, I know. If I'm a Man United fan, I'm loving it. Because you're rolling the dice. He's an entrepreneur of football management, this guy. You know, you look.
Are you running his PR campaign?
I watched his team play against Arsenal last year. I watched his team play against. They played Arsenal off the pitch, lost on penalties, but with inferior players. I think that with the midfield area, it only plays with 2 in there. So some of them might be pushed into them wing-back areas where he likes to push up and they fill up the midfield with the wing-backs. Plays 3 at the back. I mean, that opens it up. He's got enough centre-halves there. But are they quick enough for him? I mean, all these sort of things he can find out if he gets here now. Don't worry about 30 days. Get in now.
It was a straightforward routine night on the pitch for Sporting, beating Nacional in the League Cup, Portuguese League Cup quarter-final through to the semi-final. Was it straightforward and routine in terms of his negotiations with Manchester United? Well, of course, the two sides have agreed compensation. Amorim accepted that that's the case and accepted that it's now his decision, but he wants to take people he likes to work with him. So I think a lot of the talks at the moment are concentrating on his backroom staff. I guess aside from that, away from here, will there be a place for Ruud van Nistelrooy, of course, who is in interim charge, has only just arrived at the club? All that is being talked about, all that is being negotiated. That seems to be the main negotiation going on at the moment, and it's down to him in the end whether he accepts. But that twinkle in his eye, the mood music last night in that news conference, makes me think that this probably won't take too much longer. He was impressive in terms of the performance on the pitch and his performance off the pitch as well, which is so important when you're going to be the manager of a big club like Manchester United, one of the biggest clubs in the world. You need to be able to deal with the spotlight, with the good times, with the bad times, with the serious stuff, with the fun. And he did really well in front of the media last night. The interviews after the game and the news conference, most of the questions, of course, in Portuguese. Manchester United was mentioned at least 15 times, and he wanted to answer, but I don't think right now he can. Out of respect for Manchester United, out of respect for Sporting, he said, look, there's nothing concrete at the moment, nothing's definite. When there is, I'll say more. He was asked whether it was going to be, that was last night, his last game at Sporting. He said he didn't know, but of course he accepted it was his decision. And this is the bit that he said in his perfect English to me at the end of the news conference.
I wanted to ask you about your tactics tonight. No, not really. I've heard the words Manchester United mentioned quite a few times this press conference. Could you sum up where we are with the Manchester United move?
We have to wait a little bit more to explain everything I need to explain, and then it will be very clear.
But the club, obviously, they have to, if an approach is made for their head coach, because of the rules, have said that approach has been made and the compensation fee has been agreed. So it's now your decision, I guess.
Yes, that's what I said. It's my decision. I will tell everything. So we have to wait. That's it.
How long?
I don't know.
Will you be in the dugout at Old Trafford on Sunday?
I will be here.
Definitely.
I don't know.
So I'm being told by journalists in the know locally that João Pereira, you'll know his name, a former Portugal international, who's in charge of the Sporting B team, is being lined up to take over from Amorim should he go to Manchester United. But Amorim will be taking today's training session with Sporting, and he didn't wave goodbye last night. It wasn't a full stadium, it was a League Cup game. They've got a league game here on Friday, so maybe he'll reach a deal with Manchester United, but maybe it will be announced, but maybe he'll also want to be here on Friday night just to wave goodbye to the crowd who love him, and then potentially, who knows, be at Old Trafford, either in the dugout or in the stadium on Sunday for that game against Chelsea.
Ruud van Nistelrooy's role in Manchester United's victory proves they can afford to wait for Ruben Amorim. Manchester United's 5-2 triumph over Leicester City in the fourth round of the Carabao Cup showcased Ruud van Nistelrooy making the absolute most of his first, and possibly only, chance to lead. This dominant performance proved that United can afford the wait for Ruben Amorim. Van Nistelrooy, who joined the club staff last summer, relished every moment of this opportunity, clearly prepared for a moment like this. Meanwhile, Erik Ten Hag may have watched his former team finally finding rhythm and luck in front of goal, two ingredients that had been sorely missing in recent weeks. Ruben Amorim, watching from Lisbon, got a clear preview of his future team's potential as he awaits his likely mid-November move to Manchester. While he saw a side with flaws, he also saw tremendous promise. He won't see his preferred three-at-the-back formation until he officially takes the helm, but Van Nistelrooy's focus on building short-term results and team morale ahead of Amorim's arrival was on full display. Making his presence felt, Van Nistelrooy didn't miss a chance to reconnect with the fans. Having represented United 219 times as a player, he commanded the Old Trafford sidelines with intensity and pride, savouring every second. Dressed head to toe in black, he emerged from the tunnel with fists raised high toward the Stretford end, igniting a resounding rood from the crowd. The energy was electric, even the football gods seemed to smile on him. Where missed chances had haunted United all season under Ten Hag, Wednesday night was different. Casemiro opened the scoring with a stunning, top corner rocket from 30 yards out, leaving Van Nistelrooy's jaw on the floor. He punched the air multiple times, celebrating with a fierce sense of pride. And when Alejandro Garnacho netted his own brilliant finish, the Dutchman commanded the likes of Matthijs de Ligt, Victor Lindelof, and Casemiro to join the celebration, a visible call for unity. He managed every moment, even stepping in for Leicester City's manager, Steve Cooper, when Cooper was booked by referee Michael Salisbury. Moments later, however, Leicester clawed one back after a weak punch from Altay Bayındır, ruthlessly punished by Bilal El Khanis with a half volley off the post. But United's momentum couldn't be derailed. Shadows of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's debut lingered as this previously struggling side transformed into an unstoppable attacking force. United's fortune, elusive under Ten Hag, returned in abundance. Bruno Fernandes' 20-yard free kick took a lucky deflection, and Casemiro's header off a Marcus Rashford cross rebounded off both posts before landing back at his feet for an easy finish. A chaotic ricochet involving Diogo Dalot offered Conor Cody a simple tap-in, boosting Leicester early in the second half. Yet United soon closed the game after Caleb Okoli's weak pass let Fernandes dribble around Ward for a point-blank finish. Van Nistelrooy soaked up the ovation on his way to the tunnel, waving to all four stands before facing the Stretford end for an extended applause. It felt like a farewell, but perhaps he'll get another chance come Sunday. His victory continues an impressive legacy of former players taking charge at Old Trafford, joining the ranks of Ryan Giggs, Solskjaer, and Michael Carrick. Together, they've led United to 19 wins in 27 games with 59 goals scored. Who knows, perhaps Darren Fletcher should be next in line.